You open the fridge, not because you're hungry, you just open it. You look inside. Nothing has changed since the last time. The same containers, the same light, the same cold air. You close it, walk away. And 2 minutes later, you're back, standing in front of it again. Not because your body is running out of energy, not because something is wrong, not because there's any emergency inside you, but because something older than thought keeps pulling you toward food. A quiet signal, a whisper from a part of you that doesn't know about grocery stores, that doesn't understand delivery apps, that has never heard of a pantry. To that older part of you, food is not entertainment. It's not a snack between meetings. It's not a reward at the end of a hard day. To that part, food is the difference between life and not. And modern food knows exactly how to speak that language. So maybe the problem is not that you are weak. Maybe the problem is that your body was built for a world of hunger, and now lives in a world where hunger barely has time to arrive.
Here is the strange part. You can know you're not hungry and still want to eat. You can finish a full meal and still want something sweet. You can promise yourself you'll stop after one bite and find your hand already reaching again. And because this happens inside modern life, we usually turn it into a moral story. Discipline, willpower, self-control, weakness. But for most of human history, eating when food was available wasn't a flaw. It was intelligence. A human who ignored energy when energy appeared didn't become spiritually superior. They became vulnerable because the world your body came from did not guarantee the next meal. Food was not sitting in a cold white box under electric light. It had to be found, climbed for, dug up, cracked open, shared, protected, remembered. So the real question isn't, why do humans want food? The real question is, what happens when a body built for scarcity is placed inside a world of endless abundance? For most of human history, hunger was not a lifestyle problem. It was information. It told you to move, to search, to pay close attention. It sharpened the world. A smell mattered, a color mattered, a broken shell on the ground mattered. Footprints in soft earth mattered. The sound of fruit falling mattered. Hunger made the senses lean forward. And when food appeared, the body had one clear instruction: eat now, store energy, don't waste this. Because the environment was uncertain. Weather changed without warning. Animals moved. A good season could become a desperate one. What was plentiful today might be gone tomorrow. This doesn't mean ancient humans were always starving. That's too simple. Some environments were rich. Some groups had knowledge, tools, traditions, and rhythms that made life more stable. But uncertainty was always there, always underneath. And so your body learned the oldest rule of all. When energy appears, pay attention. When food is here, care. That rule kept your ancestors alive for hundreds of thousands of years. It is still running inside you now. Now, here is where the ancient system meets the modern world, and where things become quietly dangerous. Your body evolved to respond to 3 signals above almost everything else: sweetness, fat, salt. Not because these things are evil, because in the ancient world, each one carried a message the body could not afford to ignore. Sweetness meant ripe fruit, fast energy, safe to eat, a signal worth following. Honey was something else entirely. It had to be found, climbed for, sometimes fought for. A small amount of sweetness in the ancient world could mean survival. Fat meant density, energy stored in a small amount of space. In a world where food had to be earned through movement and skill and luck, fat was insurance. A lean season could come, a long walk could come, a failed hunt could come. The body that valued fat survived when the body that ignored it didn't. Salt meant minerals, fluid balance, nerve signals, muscle function. In many environments, sodium wasn't always easy to find. The body learned to seek it. These weren't cravings born from weakness. They were cravings born from survival. And then modern food arrived, and it didn't just offer one signal at a time. It learned to combine all three, plus softness, plus crunch, plus smell, plus speed, plus color, into a single object that fits in your hand and disappears in minutes. Your ancient brain hears fruit. The modern world gives it candy. Your ancient brain hears honey. The modern world gives it a bottle you can open without effort. Your ancient brain hears energy and minerals. The modern world gives it a chip designed in a laboratory to be impossible to put down. The signals are ancient. The objects are new, and your body doesn't fully know the difference. Modern food is dangerous in a very specific way. Not because all modern food is harmful, not because pleasure is wrong, not because eating should become a moral test, but because modern food learned to speak the oldest language the body knows, and then amplified it beyond anything the body was designed to handle. More sweetness, more fat, more salt, more softness, more crunch, more smell, more variety, more speed, more availability. Food can now be designed not just to nourish you, but to hold your attention, to survive shipping and long shelf lives, to be opened in seconds, to dissolve before fullness even has time to arrive, to make you want the next bite before the first one has ended. And then this food is placed everywhere, at eye level, near checkout counters, in offices, in schools, on screens, at celebrations, during stress, during loneliness, during exhaustion, during boredom, during grief. So when someone says, just use willpower, they're missing most of the story. Willpower is real, but environment is real too. And for an ancient body, environment has always mattered more than intention. Here is where it becomes personal. Hunger and desire are not the same thing. You can be physically full and still want something. Because eating is not controlled by one simple switch. The body has signals of energy need, signals of fullness, signals from the stomach, signals from hormones, signals from stress, signals from sleep, signals from the reward system, signals from the room you're standing in. A smell can wake desire, a package can wake memory, a time of day can wake habit, a feeling can wake appetite. A stressful day can make food feel like the first predictable pleasure you've had in hours. So when you eat without hunger, it doesn't always mean something is broken inside you. It may mean that several systems are speaking at once. One part says, I have enough energy. Another part says, but this signal feels rare. Another part says, this is comforting. Another part says, this is available right now. Another part says, you may not have this chance later. That last voice is ancient, and it doesn't know you live near a supermarket. It doesn't know the fridge will still be there tomorrow. It only knows what it learned across 100,000 years of uncertain meals. When food is here, act. This is why guilt can become so cruel. You eat something you didn't plan to eat. Then you feel weak. Then you feel disappointed. Then the stress arrives, and food becomes comfort again. The loop rebuilds itself quietly. Modern life often treats appetite as a personal failure. But appetite is older than personality, older than culture, older than kitchens, older than money, older than mirrors. It is one of the deepest negotiations between the body and the world. And the modern world has made that negotiation strange. Because now food is not only food, it is reward, entertainment, identity, memory, marketing, social life, escape, childhood, status, stress relief, a break from the screen, a way to feel something, a way to stop feeling something. So no, this is not just about calories, and it is not just about discipline. It is about an ancient survival system trying to interpret a world that keeps sending false alarms. Endless signals of abundance, endless signals of opportunity, endless signals that say, now is the moment, don't wait. Your body was built for hunger. It was not built for a pantry that never ends. Now, this doesn't mean hunger is simple. It isn't. Food, appetite, metabolism, culture, poverty, stress, sleep, medication, hormones, trauma, work schedules, family habits, and access to healthy food, all of it can matter. This is not diet advice. And it is not a way to shame anyone. The point isn't to blame the individual, the point is to understand the battlefield. Because some people aren't just fighting cravings, they're fighting stress, bad sleep, cheap food environments, long workdays with no real breaks, childhood habits that were never chosen, advertising designed by experts, loneliness that food briefly relieves, bodies that respond differently to the same signals, and systems that have quietly made the most profitable food also the most available food. Ancient life was not paradise. Hunger was real, malnutrition was real, food insecurity was real. Nobody should romanticize a world where a failed harvest could mean suffering. Modern food systems solved real problems. They made food safer, cheaper, longer lasting, more available for millions of people. That matters enormously. But progress didn't only solve hunger, it also created a new problem. A body built to survive scarcity now has to survive abundance. Maybe this is why modern hunger feels so strange. Sometimes you're not hungry for food, you're hungry for a signal, a pause, a reward, a feeling that the day has given you something back. In the ancient world, food was connected to the whole of life: movement, landscape, weather, fire, people, season, risk, skill. A meal was not just an object that appeared, it was the end of a long chain. Someone searched, someone found, someone carried, someone prepared, someone shared. The body could understand the story. There was effort before the eating. There was meaning woven into the food itself. Modern food often arrives without a story. A package opens, a screen glows, a hand reaches. The body receives intensity without context, energy without effort, pleasure without ritual, abundance without meaning. And maybe that is part of what feels wrong. Not that food is pleasurable, food should be pleasurable. Not that humans love sweetness, fat, and salt. Of course we do. The strange part is that modern life detached those ancient pleasures from the world that once gave them shape. The body still hears survival, but the room is just a kitchen. The ancient human hears opportunity, but the food was delivered by an app. You are not just choosing food in a kitchen. You are carrying a body shaped by uncertain meals, by seasons, by movement, by the memory of scarcity, by the deep relief of finding something edible when nothing was guaranteed. The fridge is new, the craving is old, the package is new, the signal is old, the supermarket is new, the hunger is ancient. And every time you eat when you're not hungry, it may not be because something inside you is broken. It may be because something inside you is still trying to protect you from a world that no longer exists. A world where sweetness was rare, fat was valuable, salt had to be found, and eating when food appeared was not weakness, it was survival. Modern life did not erase that ancient body, it just surrounded it with endless signals, endless choices, endless food. And somewhere, beneath the light of the open fridge, there is still an ancient human asking a question that once made perfect sense. Will there be enough tomorrow? That is the echo. Ancient body, modern world. The fridge is new. The hunger is ancient. If this felt strangely familiar, subscribe. There is a lot more ancient human behavior hiding in modern life.